nicely. Oh. You're so cute. What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. I'm super excited to be filming this video today because I can actually look back on my first trimester and whoops, go on, dogs. I can actually look back on my first trimester and be so happy that I am just like done. Second trimester, so much better. So the last video I did was my first trimester symptom video. So today I'm going to talk about kind of how I dealt with those feelings. This is actually the next day after I filmed the last video. Don't judge, I'm wearing the same shirt. As I said in the video I made yesterday, I am at 16 and about a half weeks. So done with first trimester and I am feeling pretty great. During those first 12 weeks, I was feeling pretty not great. I was super nauseous and like just had like every symptom under the sun. It was not super fun for me. I also kind of struggle with anxiety and a bit of depression. So my pregnancy wasn't just taking a toll on just my body, it was also kind of affecting my mental health as well. For those of you who watched my finding out I'm pregnant video, you guys kind of got like a backstory on what my mental health was like pre-pregnancy. So you'll know that I wasn't in the best place mentally speaking. Thankfully, now that I'm not only feeling like physically better, my mental health is a lot better too. So without further ado, let's jump into my must-haves and how I dealt with first trimester symptoms. So I kind of split it up in between like 3 different categories. How I dealt with stuff physically, mentally, and just kind of like giving me comfort and like something fun to live for while I was just like feeling so ick and just not wanting to like be a member of society. So I want to start off by saying that honestly, nothing really worked for me. Like I never really felt 100% better. However, there were things that kind of like helped a little bit and helped kind of like ease the symptom and just kind of made me feel better. So these are that. Physically speaking, as I mentioned, my worst symptom was nausea. So I didn't like eat a lot. I ended up losing about 10 pounds in my first trimester. I didn't throw up while I had my morning sickness, but I felt like I was going to like 24 hours a day. So I was just not feeling great at all. Obviously, I had to eat something. The worst part about it was that even though I was feeling like I couldn't eat, I felt hungry. So I wanted to eat. My stomach was grumbling like all the time, but I couldn't. Like it made me feel sick to even think about it. So the things that I could kind of stomach were the classics. Saltines. That kind of helped. I could eat a little bit, like have 3 or 4 crackers, and it would make me feel like I've eaten a little bit at least. Another one was ginger ale to like help wash it down. As many people know, ginger is really great for calming nausea and upset stomach. So that was something that we kind of had on hand just to kind of help go with the saltines. Speaking of ginger, another must-have that I had that kind of helped with the nausea a little bit was ginger tea. I got this one from David's Tea, which is a Canadian company. I'm not really sure if they have it in the States or not, but they have some of the best selections of tea for everything, just for like enjoyment, feeling nauseous, feeling like you have a cold. They're amazing. But anyway, this one is called Ginger Crystals, and it actually has like crystallized ginger. Oh, and it smells so good. It smells like ginger everything. If you like ginger, you'll probably really like it. It's really strong. This is kind of what it looks like inside. This is actually my second tin, which is why there's not that much use from it, because I used so much of it during my first trimester to try and help ease the nausea. And it was I just found it really comforting, even though it never really like took away my nausea. I never didn't feel nauseous like between literally the day of conception to week 12, and then kind of into 13 is when it like tapered out, but in between then it never really went away. But these things did help. Other things that I used to kind of help my queasiness was Sour Patch Kids. that was one of the foods for some reason that I could eat and not feel gross about. I didn't really have like a craving for it, but it was something for some reason that I could eat. Into my first trimester and even into now in my second trimester in week 16, I was parched. I am thirsty like all the time, and literally the only thing that quenches that thirst is good old water. So I always have like a bottle of water with me. I keep like 2 glasses by my bed, even though I'll like drink it through the night and then have to wake up to pee like 40 times, but I can't help it. I'm so thirsty just like all the time, and I just like have to drink my water. So okay, moving on. Another symptom I had in the first trimester was having some trouble like sleeping and like back pain and stuff. And so one of the things that I had to use pretty much every night was a pillow between my legs. I introduced to you Lumpy. This pillow is disgusting and horrible, and it's full of lumps, and me and my fiance hate it, and we never sleep with it. And I finally found a good use for it. It just takes like the pressure off of my back and like kind of helps me sleep a little bit. And now the pillow that I hate has become my best friend until I replace it with a nice pregnancy pillow. Hi, you're so cute. Yes. Speaking of sleep, something that I absolutely had to have in the first few weeks of my pregnancy was just to like be allowed to pass out and just sleep like multiple times a day, go to bed at 6 p.m. on the couch, and just be left alone to like sleep there, and just not being like made to feel guilty like by myself or anybody else, because I was so drained and so exhausted. I actually like needed that sleep so badly. Plus, who doesn't love a good nap like from time to time? Am I right? Another thing that helped with the exhaustion and the nausea and just like aches and pains kind of all over, I mentioned I had like round ligament pain. Doing prenatal yoga helped. At this point, I don't really think you have to specifically do prenatal yoga. I was just looking for like some really gentle like yin yoga to keep me calm, like relieve a little bit of pain and stress. Of course, I couldn't get through my first trimester without prenatals and other vitamins. So I take a lot of like natural supplements. Most important to me are a probiotic and a vitamin C. Just trying to build up my immune system even before I got pregnant. So doing that and making sure that I was like staying on a really good regimen with them was really important to me. Prenatals. I have 2 different kinds that have kind of helped me throughout. The most important one that I used in my first trimester was the Jameson prenatal, and it has DHA in it, which it helps prevent neural tube defects, and I guess that's really important throughout the first trimester. However, I didn't love them. They kind of made me feel nauseous, and my doctor said that's super normal and to maybe take them before bed, because if you're feeling nauseous then you'll sleep through it. Unfortunately, my sleeping wasn't great, and I was so aware that I was sick. And it's kind of weird. They smell and kind of taste like chocolate covered salmon, which sounds gross. And also they are really big. So, whoops. They're really big. I'm not good at taking pills. That probably isn't big for some people, but I can't do it. I toughed it out throughout the first because I thought it was really important to have the DHA. And it was just in the last couple of weeks of my first trimester that I switched over to the first response prenatal vitamins. These, I don't think they include DHA. I know you can get them with it. Honestly, the only reason why I bought these ones was because they were on sale. These prenatals, they are naturally sourced lemon orange flavor. They're pink. I don't know if you can see that. I really like them. I love the taste of them. I literally never forget to take them because they taste so freaking good. Some of the other things that I used in my first trimester, and I will continue to use going forward, is coconut oil and like a balm of some sort. Coconut oil is super rich in like natural fats and stuff like that, and so it's really great for like preventing stretch marks. So every morning I will put the coconut oil on my belly. I don't find it super greasy, so that's why I put it on first. I don't find it stains my clothes or anything like that. However, this stuff, which is just like a homemade belly balm that I made. Actually, I made it a couple years ago for my grandfather who was having like eczema problems. He's since passed away. I took the one that I gave him and I ended up liking it so much that I made a few batches. It actually says Papa's homemade hand cream on it. You can't really see it, but it still says it. It's just the same jar. It's not the same batch. But yeah, it's basically made of olive oil, beeswax, coconut oil. There's definitely lavender, like some essential oils in there. And it's a little thicker and like greasier. So this is what I put on at night. I'll rub my belly to prevent stretch marks a couple times a day. And yeah, because it's greasier, it just kind of like soothes in. However, it's super hydrating, so I don't even care if it like stains my pajamas or anything like that. It's just, it's really, really nice. And it actually, it smells so good. Like it smells like honey. So the next kind of thing that I wanted to like talk about to get me through like my first trimester, it more involves combating like pregnancy blues. As mentioned before, I struggle with anxiety and depression, and during my first month I was really struggling. So these were some of the things that I found helped out a lot. Something that I like couldn't have lived without in my first trimester were my dogs. They bring me so much comfort and joy. They are almost like emotional support animals to me, especially my big Australian Shepherd German Shepherd mix, who I've had since he was about 8 weeks old. He's the love of my life. I literally don't know how I'm gonna love anything more. Who doesn't like dog snugs? It makes you feel so much better. Speaking of like bringing comfort, taking care of your mental health all the time is important, but I think especially when you're pregnant and now you're not just taking care of yourself, you have to worry about someone else who depends on you. So taking care of your mental health, it's really important always, but for me right now it's really important. So one of the things that I did in the first little bit, and probably will continue to do going forward, is going to therapy. There was absolutely no shame ever in asking for help or looking for somebody to talk to, and I have always found it really, really helpful when I'm going through therapy. Just making yourself comfortable. So like comfy things like sweatshirts. I love like sweatshirts. I live in them, especially this one, hence why you saw me in it when I filmed yesterday. So another one that really helped with like comfort but also like physical stuff was beeswax. When I was having my like aversions and I just like smelled something disgusting, I would actually go and like sniff my little beeswax candle. It smells just like honey. I wish I could just soak myself in this. It smells so good. Smell of beeswax, like I'm not sure why, but it's just such a comforting scent to me. And yeah, that just kind of brought me like a lot of comfort, just having that just like by my bed. Even before I had like any anxiety, depression, I was like an avid journaler. So I have so many old journals from like the time, I think I started when I was about like, I don't know, 9 or 10, talking about like kid stuff. And now it's such a great way for me to like cope with stuff. So I have my journal here that I fill with like my thoughts. This one I started just in September and it's already like probably halfway through. Speaking of writing, one of the most fun things so far that I think is a must-have in your first trimester is a baby diary. I just got this one off Amazon. I think what I'll do is when the baby's born, I'm gonna put a little label that says their name on it, and then any future kids after, I think I will order the exact same one because I really like it. It's super cute inside and it was pretty cheap. It was only like 20 bucks, and it's like, it's got the cutest things. It's got like places for you to put notes and like how you're feeling, what you're looking forward to, cute little quotes in it, places for like cravings, little like a page for nicknames. We only have one so far. We just refer to the baby as baby or baby bear so far because we don't know the gender yet. Sometimes I call it Bug, but anyway, yeah, it's really fun. Like it gets you excited and it gets you like thinking about all like the crazy stuff that is happening throughout your pregnancy. And so yeah, during the times when I was feeling kind of down, to boost my mood, I would sometimes write in this or like snuggle my dogs, and yeah, I always just felt better. Another fun one that I loved so much in my first trimester were my apps. I have 2 apps on my phone. One of them is the Oviva pregnancy app and the other is the Bump. Those 2 are my favorite. I check them pretty much every second or third day just to kind of see like what's going on in my body. They give like all sorts of like updates and stuff like that, how big the baby is growing. And I think those things were great for my mental health just because it gave me something to like keep my mind busy and something to like look forward to. I wasn't just focusing on how sick I was feeling or if I was struggling. And yeah, so I really loved those ones. It just kind of like brightens your mood and really... She's a husky. She likes to talk. She likes to talk. What? Come here. Anyway, yeah, I think that those apps just kind of like brighten the mood and just give you something kind of like to distract you and look forward to. And it's just kind of like a fun way to, you know, like see what's going on in your body and understand what's going on. Also, they're great for like tracking moods, physical symptoms, that kind of stuff, in case you're interested in keeping those in mind. Sometimes it's hard to remember all of them when you have like a doctor's appointment coming up or something. So if you can just go like into the app or whatever and be like, oh yeah, I was feeling like this, is this normal at your appointment? I think that's super beneficial as well. So not only are they a fun little like distraction, but also they're really useful as well. One of my other things that I super loved, and again, it just kind of brought me like comfort and was good for my mental health and my physical health, wrapping all of them up into one, were my diffuser and my essential oils. I was raised like super holistically. I know that essential oils and diffusers can be like kind of, it seems like it can all be like a fad type thing. All of a sudden people are like, ooh, essential oils are so great. I don't know, it just kind of like came out of nowhere. And yeah, this is just like super normal for me. But some of my favorites, especially right now and in my first trimester, were these 3. Lavender from doTERRA. It is my absolute go-to for like nighttime. I was pretty sleepy already and didn't really need help sleeping, but this just brought me like pure comfort when I was sleeping. If I felt like I couldn't sleep because my mind was rushing, I would put lavender like behind my ears or on my ears and at the bottom of my feet, on my wrists, and it just kind of like brings like this calming effect to me. So that one's really great. This one, Wild Orange, is my absolute favorite. Any kind of citrus smell, especially orange, I die for. I love it. So good. This one is a really great mood booster. It promotes happiness and well-being, so I really like to like diffuse this throughout the house during the day. If I'm feeling down at all, I just kind of like rub it on my temples or my wrists again, as well as my heart, and I always find that it brings me comfort and joy. It makes me smile. It brings a smile to my face every time. It smells like happy. It smells like summertime. These ones are from doTERRA, the lavender and the orange, the wild orange. And then there's a Canadian company called Sage, and the one that I use from them is actually a roll-on, and it is called Peppermint Halo. It's super pepperminty, and what I used this for was when I was getting headaches in my first trimester. I don't know if you've ever touched peppermint oil before, but it can make you almost feel a little bit tingly. So what I would do is I would roll it like all around my hairline, on my temples, and then on the back of my neck and down my shoulder blades, and that would really help with like any headaches. And literally once it starts to tingle and like have that cooling effect, it actually feels like you have like a cold halo sitting on your head. It's kind of cool. So I know that there are some essential oils that you can't use during pregnancy because they're really, really concentrated. However, these ones, I find that they're pretty safe. I probably won't use the peppermint in my third trimester because it's like an invigorating scent. It can actually induce labor early, so I might want to stay away from that. Another couple things in my first trimester that were absolute must-haves were books and podcasts. I have been super, super diligent about being like prepared and learning stuff for this pregnancy, especially since it was such a surprise and such a shock to us. And also it's my first baby, so I'm not really sure what to expect. So I've really been trying to like educate myself, not only to get prepared, but also to kind of just like calm the nerves down. I'm really loving a couple podcasts right now about pregnancy. One of them is called Birth Queens. It's super, super funny. It's mostly about like natural birth and like so honest and raw, and just like they don't hold anything back. Another one is called The Birth Hour. It's a compilation of like birth stories, all different kinds, so like hospital, natural, home, epidural, C-section, VBAC, all sorts of different things. So you get like to hear the full spectrum of like motherhood and like birth from all sorts of different experiences. Another way that I was educating myself with through books. I've got a couple like actual physical paperback books here that I've been loving, as well as some audiobooks that I've been listening to. This one so far is really great. It is called The Positive Birth Book, written by Millie Hill. And it is so great. Like, it's super informational. I've learned so much from it already. I really love it. Sometimes I find it a little bit difficult to read just because she's from the UK. And things are a little bit different there, and they have like different terminology sometimes. So just keeping that in mind if you're gonna get this one. But I really do, like, all in all, it's really, really informational. And yeah, it's so positive. It's like making me excited to give birth rather than terrify me, which my whole life, I'm not gonna lie, I've been so afraid to give birth. But educating myself and like really trying to like, you know, not be terrified and let it take over is something I'm trying to do, and the books are really helping. This one, it's really, really funny. It's actually a parenting book, and it's called Bare Minimum Parenting by James Breakwell. It's super funny. I'm not super far into it yet. The other one I'm listening to on audiobook is called Birth Without Fear by January Harshi. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but I'm really loving this one. As mentioned, I am super terrified of giving birth. It has been like one of my biggest fears my whole life. So listening to these people's experience and knowing that you can like have a birth that isn't filled with terror, knowing that that's possible is really reassuring and comforting. So I'm really loving that. Something I did every week that made me really, really like happy, it just made me smile, was doing weekly bump pictures. It's just fun to like see how like your belly grows throughout the weeks, like week by week. But yeah, that one was like kind of a must do, just because like it's fun to look at. Even if you don't really have a bump yet, like even me in my like 16 weeks, I still look pretty much like I did pre-baby. Maybe like I've just eaten one too many hamburgers or something. But yeah, it's just like super fun, and it like keeps you kind of happy. And then one other thing is one of these, a good old-fashioned day planner. I use a planner pretty much religiously even before I got pregnant. I love them, but I'm finding it even more useful, and I'm grateful to have it even more now because of all of the appointments that come with like pregnancy. So I found that like having a place to be able to like write everything down was really helpful. And I just check it like every night before I go to bed, write in the stuff that I have to do tomorrow. If I have any upcoming appointments, I'll know about. You can use your phone, obviously. I don't know, I'm an old lady. I'm kind of old-fashioned. I pretty much just like love writing stuff down on like paper and stuff. Plus this one's really cool because it has all sorts of different sections. So not only does it have like the days of the week and lots of space to like write everything down, but also it has like a place for like notes for this week. It has like top priorities that you need to get done for the week. A place for like you to write down your small victories that you had, so that's really cute. A place to like draw a little cute picture if you're feeling creative. And then this one's my favorite. It's like a little heads up for what's coming up next week, and I use that part right there for like letting me know if I have any bills or appointments coming up the next week, so that I'm prepared ahead of time and I know what's coming up. So yeah, an agenda or like a day planner, that has been a must-have in my first trimester. So yeah, those are kind of my must-haves and my go-tos to help kind of like ease symptoms or ease like anxiety or like help with my mental health that I was really reliant on. A lot of them I will absolutely continue using into my second. But yeah, that's like the lowdown on like how I kind of dealt with symptoms, how I was feeling both physically and mentally. And yeah, that's pretty much a wrap on my first trimester. Like I said, second trimester is so much more enjoyable, and I've enjoyed being pregnant and like thinking about like baby stuff so much more now, because I can actually like not feel like I'm dying, which is so wonderful. We are going to be finding out the gender in less than 2 weeks, and I cannot tell you how stupid excited I am to find out. It's not going to be like a gender reveal or anything like that. We both felt like, just because this is our first baby, because it was such like a spontaneous thing, that we really wanted to just like kind of keep it to ourselves and like enjoy it for ourselves. But it is going to be fun. We are going to film it. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to keep documenting this pregnancy, and yeah, I'm so excited to share it with all of you. So yeah, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you see, go ahead and subscribe. Let me know what else you want to see more of. Let me know down in the comments below. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video. It super helped my channel out. And yeah, it's been super fun.